It's like same stuff, but
I think we're live.
oh, cool.
All right, before we really formally introduce this, I'm going to set this up here so we can record it on the phone as well. All right, is it running? I think we're running.
All righty.
We got a mic set up. Hey, like my new microphone, man.
It's nice.
Cool.
I dig it.
Yeah, it's kind of a little omnidirectional. So I tried it last night, so hopefully it'll work good for us.
Yeah.
We're doing this micro style because when on his podcast and his video cast, he and Chuck Klausmeyer just kind of start talking. They're like, all right, well, I guess it's working. Let's go with this. So officially, hey, this is Rob with Road Dirt. Welcome to our first ever Road Dirt TV live broadcast. This is my friend, Stephen Kent, in here, riding buddy, and the West Virginian.
The
West Virginia.
Yeah, I know, right? That's all we do is listen to that song.
John Denver, man,
John Denver.
every day. Yep. I'm not going to call you the Mountain Mama, though.
No,
I won't.
I appreciate it.
I won't do that. So we thought Stephen's back in town and for a few days, and we thought we've been riding together some and over the last few years. And if you've ever followed anything we've done on our video channel, on the YouTube channel, on our social media pages, on the main website, roaddirt.tv, a lot of you are familiar with Stephen because he's been in a number of our stories and some of our rides we've been on. So it's good having Stephen back in town, my man.
It's good seeing you, man.
Good seeing you, brother. Here we are, toward the latter third of February, and back here in Georgia, it's actually sunny. It's supposed to hit about 50 or low 50s today. I think it got up to like 70 yesterday.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
It was beautiful yesterday.
A little different than West Virginia.
It's different than our 12 and 19 degrees and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Man.
But riding season's coming up. So.
It is. It is indeed. So I wanted to have Stephen in, talk about some motorcycling, because that's kind of what we do, you know. But Stephen, some of you that have keep up with us know this, but those of you that don't, rides what is yours, a 2018 Kawasaki Z900. It's the RS version of this. It's kind of that retro looking bike, but most bad A looking motorcycle to me in Kawasaki's lineup. I love the looks of it. And the dude can haul butt on, and he's dangerous. It's kind of crazy, but looking forward to some riding this year.
Oh yeah.
Tell a little bit about where you live up in West Virginia. That is like motorcycle mecca country up there. Very few people really know how great the riding is in West Virginia. You're in the heart of it, man.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm born and raised in Georgia. Used to all the wonderful roads we have down here in the Southeast, and everything from Tennessee to North Carolina to Georgia. But first time really being up in West Virginia, the Shenandoah Valley area. There's pretty much mountains everywhere you turn. Country, I thought we had country in Georgia until I moved up there, and I was like, "That's real country,"
That's for
so sure. So it's nice. It's a nice change. Obviously, the weather. You get higher elevation, you get more snow, more frozen roads, stuff like that. So
not a lot of riding going on right now.
Not right now. It's all maintenance right now.
Yeah, but when you get into the spring, you guys get into the heart of the summer and early fall, that's going to be motorcycle heaven up there, man.
It's going to be nice. I've heard of the Devil's Backbone up there is apparently, and then there's also one I believe it's called the Back of the Dragon.
I have heard of that.
Yeah. So, and then of course you have Blue Ridge Parkway that goes from and
then Skyline Drive up above that. Yeah,
yep, exactly. So, I was actually over there the other day.
Really, over near Skyline?
I think so. Well, it may have been a different one, but there was
I've never been that high up.
Yeah,
but they say that's an unbelievable, breathtaking road as well. Yeah. It's just like an extension of the Blue Ridge. Just continue it on. Yeah. So it'll be amazing.
Yep, looking forward to learning some new roads. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So, We thought we'd talk about what's coming up in 2022 in the world of motorcycling that's kind of caught our attention and everything. And we just had our first bike evaluation. It's actually going to be we're finishing the story on it with the video review and everything of a 2022 Triumph Speed Triple 1200 RS. That thing was the ultimate hooligan bike.
It's funny because like I can't even not keep from grinning from hearing about that bike. Because I remember when they debuted the photos of it last year.
Yeah.
And, kind of has a unique fairing on the front. Still looks awesome.
Well, the RR actually has got that bullet fairing, the RR version of it.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of that MV Augusta Super Veloce. Exactly. It's kind of got that old retro, 1960s, early 70s GP bikes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But, just the single headlight and then that bullet fairing around it. Yeah, it looks awesome.
Yeah, we hope to get actually
so that wasn't the one you guys had.
No, we had the RS. It's the naked
just
street.
Completely naked.
Yeah, the naked Street Fighter one. It's got the two bug-eye headlights in the front,
Yeah.
But we may actually get that one back because when they get us the RR, they're going to get us an RR March or early April. They want to send the RS with it so we can kind of compare them to each other because they both have. It's actually an 1160 cc engine, so it's about a mini bike short of a true 1200. But to be able to run both of those at the same time should be quite an experience because it's the same power plant, but they're tuned a little bit differently, and I think obviously their suspension will be set up a little different. The RR is going to be much more of a much more of a race replica style. But
well, it's funny. That's kind of similar to how Kawasaki did with the 900, the Z900 versus the 900 RS. They tuned the engine a little bit differently, got the torque curves different, and so that's interesting. That's cool that other manufacturers, I guess every manufacturer kind of does that a little bit. So.
Yeah, I think that this is the largest triple they've ever put in a bike before.
Yeah.
So. And
I thought a lot of CCs for a triple.
Oh my gosh, man! Crazy. I thought I would be intimidated by it, but around town and everything, and just riding, getting used to it. It's a real smooth clutch actuation, real compliant, real easy to learn on. But once you get going, you actually, I'm stealing kind of the thunder of the story, but it actually shifts better without the clutch.
Oh, really?
Just clicking up and down through the gears. They've got it. They've got that the gear ratios and the just so super tuned in it that it shifts better without using the clutch at all.
Really?
In upshifts and downshifts.
That's wild.
It is wild. Yeah, man. I mean, So anyway, that's enough about that. You're gonna have to read the story. Yeah, it's coming out.
I was about to say I'll listen to
I know.
Talk about that. Yeah.
We're gonna try to put that up on roaddirt.tv tomorrow. But what have you been looking at? You've been looking at the Harleys, the 2022 offerings for the Harleys. What are some things you've seen that in Harley's lineup that catch your interest?
So 100%. I mean, just me. My background is in marketing as well as a passion for motorcycles. So I've always kind of tried to stay in tune with marketing stuff. And Harley-Davidson was actually one of the brands we studied throughout marketing school.
Oh, cool.
It was one of like the 4 major brands on earth. I mean, at one point it was the most tattooed brand on the planet. I don't know how they
There's an interesting designation.
Yeah. But so I've always loved, the dynamic of Harley, just from a marketing and business standpoint, just seeing how they transition out of, the aging group that was their customer base for 60 years or so. I mean, they've had this one kind of base that they've just held on to. And the one thing that I was extremely excited about this year is the Lowrider ST.
Really?
Which is, I've always been fascinated with the Lowrider because it's kind of the aggressive, more powerful, sporty cruiser of the Harley-Davidson lineup. So it's your mid-size cruiser.
Got a really good seat height, though, for a lot of different rider sizes.
Exactly. So, but they had the Lowrider ST, which from the looks of it, they essentially put a fairing from a 1980s FXR on there, which is coming
that's
back.
The one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw it.
So, and then
talking about now.
They put some smaller kind of some more compact saddlebags
Yeah.
on it, and they're high mount, so they're not low mount.
So like a performance bagger.
Exactly. So the thing that I love about it is they listen to the market. They listen to what customers are doing with the bikes after they leave the dealership.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's especially, I mean, if you follow any Dyna pages, any FXR pages, any of your Harley builders right now,
Yeah,
are all getting into this performance bagger type stuff. And yeah, so which also
it's a class in Moto America now.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it's a popular class.
Well, and you think about it, technically that is a bagger now because it comes from the factory with bags on it. You put that in Moto America as opposed to a road glide or a street glide, which is the heavier cruiser, touring bike, not a cruiser. That might turn the tables a little bit on Indians. So
I think that class in Moto America is going to expand. At some point, I think it'll expand to include those.
Oh yeah,
the lighter weight STs and things like that, and I think it's moving in that direction. That's an interesting class to watch in motorcycle road racing here in the States.
Yeah.
But the thing that really blew me away at last year and going into this year was that whole paradigm shift that Harley went through when they debuted the Pan America.
Yeah.
And then that same power plant that I want to say it's a 1260 or 1270 power plant, they put it in a new Sportster S.
Yeah.
A water cooled, I think it's an overhead valve engine. And we actually got one of our guys, Ted got to have one. Ted Edwards with Donnie Reddington, a gal that runs School of Moto out in Washington, actually had two of them for several days at the Touratech West Rally and rode the crap out of them, loved them. And then we got to ride him at the International Motorcycle Show. That Harley has caught a lot of flack from some of the more diehards, about moving in that direction. And yet at the end of 2021, I want to say for the first time in a number of years, they came in the black. They showed a profit. And that Pan America was the bike that largely was responsible for giving them a banner 2021, because that bike, that Pan America, outsold every other adventure bike in the United States and Canadian market.
Yeah.
It killed it. There were people getting off of BMWs and buying Pan Americas.
Which
It's crazy.
You've probably ridden with BMW guys, and some of those guys are as hardcore about BMW as Harley riders are.
Yes, they are. They're a dedicated bunch.
So that was my big thing. I love seeing the changes Harley's making. The Sportster S, obviously they were trying to shoot for the Indian Scout. It's almost, you put them side by side, they almost look the same exact thing.
It's aimed right at that Scout, right?
But the Pan America, for me, I'm not an adventure rider. Someday I probably will be, but I just didn't. To me, I didn't see guys giving up their Beamers and their Triumph Tigers and stuff for an American-made V-twin adventure bike, but it happened. So, the one thing I wish they hadn't have scrapped was the Harley Bronx, the Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Which
I wouldn't be surprised if
it may be. I'm thinking
at some point they bring that thing back.
Well, like you're talking. I'm on the Z900 RS naked bike, kind of a retro version. You just did a test on the 1200 from another naked, and then you got the MTs from Yamaha.
Yep.
And so, that's largely where that Japanese market is, I feel like. So,
I think if they come back out with the Bronx in the next year or two, that thing will shake up the naked sport bike genre, and it'll grab that age group of 20, 30, and 40 somethings that are riding those naked sports, because you got a more upright riding position, better, more comfortable rider triangle all day long, and yet all the performance of a sport. I really don't think we've seen the last of the Bronx. That's just me.
I hope not.
I know. It's a cool looking machine, man.
Because honestly, that's one thing that's always intrigued me, is like that's why I love taking a cruiser and riding it like a sport bike, or that's why I'm fascinated by the lowriders and that new lowrider ST. It also has, I believe, it's higher suspension. It's got
Yeah.
inverted front forks. It's got piggybacks in the back that are adjustable with the click of a, they got a knob and just, dual front disc, I believe. Like, I mean, this thing's set up. This is as race ready as a Harley could come,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
it's a killer looking bike. I love it.
A V-twin naked bike, that would be cool.
That'd be a beast.
Yeah.
We'd be standing in line.
Yeah.
Can I ride that?
Yep.
So absolutely. So that's the latest that we're seeing in Harley, man. I'm excited for the brand. I think they've I think with that 1250, 1260 power plant that's in the Sportster S and in the Pan America, there's hints that they're going to put that in other bikes as well. So it's coming.
That's going to be their new platform, I think.
I think eventually, yeah.
I mean, obviously the standard or your more classic cruisers still going to have that push rod, 117-inch motor or 124-inch motor, whatever they're on now. But yeah, it's hard to beat those Revo Max motors or whatever they're calling them now. So
I think it's a Revolution Max, yeah. So a lot of cool stuff coming. Indian has got added to their chief lineup. They've added another bobber to their scout lineup, and those are exciting to see as well. I actually got to ride one of the chiefs that kind of, instead of having forward pegs, they were, the foot controls were like more neutral right underneath you, and which I really like. And that thing was a hoss as well. It was a torque monster.
Powerhouse, yeah. I demoed one of those. I think it was midsummer, maybe.
Yeah.
Or it was a while back now, but it was definitely. It's got some power to it. It's another mid-size cruiser, so classic.
It's got a wide appeal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's good to see Indian and Harley back mixing it up with each other, because both of them are producing just phenomenal motorcycles.
Yeah.
They are absolutely killing it. Anything new you're looking to see this year that's coming out? Any of the other brands? Anything you're eyeballing?
There's been talks of Eric Buell and doing some stuff, bringing some stuff out. I'm kind of keeping an eye on that because obviously, Eric Buell split from Harley, or they had a split years ago.
Yeah.
And but he's using the Rotax motors now, or some form of the Rotax motor, which is they're using the Can-Ams, the Can-Am Spiders, and all that stuff now. So kind of looking forward to seeing more of that. I saw some press releases, I think back in the fall or summer. And
they produced a prototype called the Hammerhead.
Yeah.
That looked really promising.
Yep.
Really cool looking.
Yep.
So haven't heard any more since, but
and also I don't know if you've heard any on this, but I know Triumph referenced entering into dirt bikes.
They are.
Yeah.
They're going. They're going to enter into the MX scene. A couple of motocross. I think they're producing two. It's going to be a motocross / supercross bike, and then an enduro.
Okay.
So and
I know enduro.
We hope to get our hands on one. We got a guy, a friend of ours named Jake McDonald with Flying Brothers Motorcycle Garage. That's an amateur, actually semi-pro AMA racer here at Southeast Regional, and we're gonna try to see if we can get one of those and put it in his hands and let him thrash it and beat the crap out of it.
Let an experienced off-road guy handle it for a little bit.
Yeah, not me, man. I don't have my dirt legs are getting a little old. But I'm also excited to see Royal Enfield has got another bike they're going to be debuting soon. They're debuting. They had so much success with that little single thumper, that 350, that was tuned so well for American roads. We had a Meteor last year, and fantastic. It's a very surprising little bike.
Oh, yeah.
And they're actually putting that power plant in a revamped, updated version of their bike called the Classic, which is similar to the old Bullet. And when you look, I've seen some of the early press photos of it. Thing looks like a 1930s, early 40s era motorcycle, and yet it's got all the modern tech, EFI and modern suspension, and things like that. So looking forward to seeing one of those. I think those are going to debut. They've already debuted, I think, in India, and I think they're going to be. Hopefully, they'll have some of those here. I hope I'm not stealing Royal Enfield Thunder.
I know,
But
right?
most folks that keep up that are in the know in motorcycling know, hey, they're coming out with another bike. We hope to get our hands on one of those because the little 350 was such a surprise and so much fun to ride last year.
Yeah.
I look forward to getting my hands on this little 1930s looking 350 that looks vintage, but it's got all the modern accoutrements that Royal Enfield is becoming very widely respected for. So looking forward to seeing that.
Well, and the cool thing about the Royal Enfields too is I've talked to so many people, especially the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride last year.
Yeah.
You're kind of early adopters of that. They're like $5,000 motorcycles.
It's crazy.
I mean, you can get a cool, it looks cool, got that classic vintage styling. It can handle Georgia, Atlanta traffic, no problem. And for $5,000-$6,000, like that's
they've got two. A few years ago, they debuted two twins, 650 twins.
Yeah.
The Interceptor that it's called the INT 650 over here in the United States, and then the Continental GT that looks like a cafe racer.
Yeah.
You look at both of those, man. It's like a time warp. It's like looking at an Ace Cafe, British, cafe racer back in the 1960s or something, and those kind of bikes that traditional that traditional British kind of looking bike.
Yeah.
And they're like, I think you can get on even a Continental GT, the cafe racer one, for like less than $6,000.
Yeah.
And you're getting a 650 twin. And then of course they got that adventure bike, that Himalayan. We had one of those about a year ago, and a little single thumper 411 that's just impossible to destroy.
Yeah.
It's just a bulletproof bike.
I ran into some guys up in the mountains up at Two Wheels of Suches when there were 3 guys on Himalayans. I was up there. We got up there like 7 a.m. for an event or something. And I was talking to these guys about these Himalayans, and they were doing the Smoky Mountain 500, I believe. It's a bunch of off-road trails from Georgia, North Carolina, Virginia, and Tennessee.
Yeah.
But all 3 had the Himalayans, and they described them as a tractor. They said you take them off road, you're not going to go blazing triple digits down the interstate or anything, but they said you can climb any hill anywhere, like regardless. So I was like, that's pretty cool. I've never heard of a motorcycle described as a tractor.
A tractor.
So, but I was like, man, if that's what you're looking for.
I know, yeah.
Go slow and
And the Himalayan, I can't remember where it is. I saw somewhere up in the Northeast up there, there was a flat track training school.
Oh yeah.
That was using Himalayans to train people how to slide around a dirt track, flat track racing. They're using Himalayans to do it, which I thought was pretty neat. But what are some events you're looking forward to this coming year? Some things in motorcycling you're looking forward to getting in on?
Definitely. After my last couple of years of working with flat track, I love watching flat track now. And
American flat track
racing. Yeah. And the funny thing is the amateur guys are 10 times crazier than the professionals.
Yeah.
They get paid way less and they're more wild out there.
But, privateers.
Yeah. So that definitely, I'd like to see more bagger stuff from, see if we can get more than, I think we had 5 bagger racing races with Moto America, and then they had the Bagger Racing League that started as well, but that's kind of out in California. I
think Rolling Sands Design is that is behind some of that.
Yeah. So but and then I've honestly, this is just on top of mind, I've been watching Supercross.
So it's off to a roaring start this year.
That's been wild this year. So I've been watching that just because that's really all that's on race, motorcycle racing wise. So
that's some good racing, man.
Yeah,
Supercross is some killer racing.
It's wild stuff. You don't realize how fast those bikes are. That the 250s and the 450s when they shoot out of the gate. I mean, it's an insane amount of torque. You probably talk to Jake about that. I think he rides a 250. So.
Yeah, he's in the 250 class in AMA. Yeah. So
but what about you? What are you?
I'm looking forward to the Moto America season. I'm a road racing guy, man. getting to go to those events and be trackside and just feel and hear those bikes as they fly past you, on long straights, hitting nearly 200 miles an hour. And those guys just being able, just wrapped around a motorcycle and being able to wrestle those things through corners and everything. The Moto America racing, to me, motorcycle road racing, ever since I was a teenager, just knocks me out. I mean, I love Supercross. I love motocross. I love flat track. I love NHRA drag racing, being there trackside when they go roaring by. But there's something about Moto America, motorcycle road racing just kills me. I can't get enough of it.
Oh, yeah.
And Moto America has single-handedly revived American motorcycle road racing here in the States. So I'm excited to get back into some road racing. I want to see Jake Gagne defend his title.
Yeah,
because they've got some foreign racers that
I feel like
Danilo Pedrucci and others that have come over here stateside now. And these guys are MotoGP racers that are coming to the U.S. now.
Which MotoGP is commonly looked at as the superior,
premier motorcycle road racing series in the world, that and World Superbike. And racers are, Americans are going abroad, which is exciting.
Yeah.
Cameron Bobier, and Sean Dillon Kelly. And then you've got guys like Petrucci and others, Loris Baz in the last couple of years, others that have come into America as they want to race in the American series. So it's exciting. It's looking up big time. I'm excited also about the international motorcycle shows. Last year they debuted an entirely different format when they went from decades and decades. I want to say it was like 41 years that they were like just a static, wintertime convention center. Go look at bikes, maybe straddle a few in a convention center. And then last year they went to the IMS Outdoors, where it turned it into outdoor venues, brands bringing just tons of their demo bikes. And you spend Friday, Saturday, and Sunday demoing motorcycles for 3 days. What's not to love, man?
That was what you guys did this past fall, right?
Yeah. We went to the Atlanta one, which it rained a little bit on it, but it was phenomenal.
Well, that's what
they've hit on something big time with
everybody I talked to that went to that. They said it rained, so you could literally hop on a bike at any moment in time. And they said there were so many bikes there, which is fantastic. I mean, being able to demo bikes without buying them. I mean, I demoed my Z900 RS before, 6 months before I bought it, that's
Kawasaki was there and they had one. I got to throw a leg over one of those and haul out with it. It was
it's a fun little bike.
Yeah, I know, about 10. Yeah. Hard to get rid of the Triumph Bonneville here, but that Kawasaki of his, after riding one at the IMS last year, was tempting. But so I'm looking forward to the IMS coming back. I think they've got 8 stops across the United States. One of them is going to be in Phoenix, Arizona. They're going into Phoenix, which they haven't been to that. They haven't been to Phoenix since they were a convention center one some years back. So you people out in Phoenix, Arizona, you got to get in on that. So I'm excited about IMS and all the demos that they'll get to do. And we've kind of established a friendship with Why We Ride, the organization that produced the movie Why We Ride.
Yeah.
And back in 2013, Brian Carroll, the director and producer of that, and they've got a ride coming up that benefits the Pediatric Brain Cancer Society. I'm butchering that up. Pediatric Brain Tumor Society, that raises funds for children, suffering with brain tumors. And they do a ride every year. They do a ride to the Quail, to the big auction and motorcycle show up in, I believe it's in Monterey. And that's coming up. I think that's in, I want to say that's in April. You can check their Why We Ride site and their, and their Facebook pages for that too. And then I think at Sturgis they'll like they did last year. They'll do a Sturgis rap party, and they raise a bunch of funds for charities actually in South Dakota, and charities and organizations that rescue children and women out of the sex trafficking trade and things like that. The people at Why We Ride, Brian Carroll and company, they love motorcycle riding. They're true bikers. And they do a heck of a lot of good. And I'm looking forward to collaborating with them, sharing their stories a bit more this year as well, just because they are fantastic people. So good stuff. Yeah. What else? You looking forward to this year? Anything? just getting on more bikes,
Just getting on more bikes.
and getting on more roads.
Yeah, trying to find more roads. Happy to be in a new part of the U.S. and finding new roads. I mean, that's going to be a lot of this year. I still have we have a 3-day ride. A lot of the guys that I ride with coming up in I think May.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna probably trailer the bike back down to North Carolina or Tennessee, maybe Gatlinburg or something like that, and then of course we'll hit the Dragon, Foothills Parkway, and stuff like that. So but yeah,
I'm gonna have to come. I'm gonna have to find a reason to get up into Virginia, West Virginia, and come ride with you, man.
You do, man.
Because you're up there in motorcycle heaven for sure. I got to ride some of those. Come up, bring the Bonnie up there, and come ride some of those roads with you.
Yeah.
So
definitely
gonna be good. Well, man, thanks for stopping by. Good to see you. Welcome to the Road Dirt Garage, the Road Dirt Studios.
Fantastic.
So until next time, keep on riding. This is Rob and Steve with Road Dirt. Ride live. Now we're going to have to cut everything off. So just bear with us. There's no editing going on here. End stream. Bye, y'all.